Hey everybody, this is Mitch Germain, aka Serenity Spider Monkey. I just wanted to bring you another deck profile. In this deck profile, we'll be exploring my um, the deck that would have been my Warrior slash Dark Scorpion deck. Um, Later on, um, I kind of actually forgot I was already building this deck, so I ended up building another deck that includes the Dark Scorpions. That's, in my opinion, way better than this one that I'm going to show you today. So, um, yeah, that second deck blows this one pretty much completely out the water and is a lot more fun to use. But um, some of the same cards, as it was inspired by pretty much the exact same things, but I'll touch on that when we get to it. So yeah, here we go. Uh, the first card up is one copy of Share the Pain. It's a magic card that lets you tribute one of your own monsters to basically make their opponent do the exact same thing to their side of the field. So it's a very useful card. I use it a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! Number Troubadour. Next card is uh, the Bistro Butcher, 18 attack points. Really good card. When he inflicts battle damage to the opponent's life points, he forces your opponent to draw 2 cards. So, very good card in mill decks. So yeah, he is very useful in combination with the Dark Scorpions. So yeah, uh, Black Pendant just a nice equip card. 500 extra attack points to whatever it's equipped to, and when it's destroyed, the opponent takes 500 more points of just burn damage. So, uh, who got Call of the Haunted? Just a nice staple revival card. I really shouldn't need to explain what Call of the Haunted does. Now we got 2 copies of Mustering of the Dark Scorpions. Mustering of the Dark Scorpions is a magic card that, when you have a face of Don Zalug on the field, you can summon 1 copy of any of the Dark Scorpions from your hand, which includes Cliff the Trap Remover, even though his name actually doesn't include Dark Scorpions, because, uh, fun fact, he was printed before the Dark Scorpions sort of became a thing. This card isn't very practical in this deck because this deck actually doesn't include Don Zalug. It actually only includes 2 of the Dark Scorpions, and one of them being 2 copies of Chick the Owl, so not very practical in this deck. uh, Next cards are actually 2 copies of Chick the Owl, and when he inflicts battle damage, you can either return 1 card on the field to the opponent's hand, or you can basically just see the top card in your opponent's deck for free, and they can't see it, and so then you just return it to the top of the opponent's deck. um, I suppose the second effect could be useful in some cases, but overall, the effect that I go for more often is just the first effect of returning 1 card on the field to its owner's hand. So yeah, that actually works if you have something you don't want on the field too. You can just you know, in if if some situation where that could help you, you could if somehow Chick the Owl I don't know, survived an opponent's attack with enough attack points. Um, uh, and you wanted a monster in your field, just sent back to your hand so it wouldn't be attacked. um, I can't really think of a scenario off the top of my head, I guess, where that would have happened, but it's possible. So, yeah. It's kind of like a free member penguin / penguin soldier, I guess. But more often than not, you probably just want to do it to your opponent. Either clear their magic and trap cards or play their photo monsters. Uh, Next is Sword Hunter, kind of like, I guess, the big boss of this deck. He has an effect where if this card destroys a monster, the monster becomes an equip magic card for Sword Hunter and increases his attack by 200 points. The card's equipped, Sword Hunter remain on the field until Sword Hunter is destroyed. So, and he has a very nice 2450 attack, 1700 defense. He's a 7-star monster, but I don't know. He's nice and powerful. In the upgraded version of this deck, I actually don't know if I have Sword Hunter or not, so he may be one thing that this deck has over its upgraded form. Next is a card that I put in there just because, like, honestly, the cards on it look just like a bunch of Donzalugs. Exiled Force, you can tribute this card to destroy one monster on the field. So, practically, it's the same as Share the Pain. Just a nice card to have. I use it a lot in Nightmare Troubadour. Next is the Warrior Returning Alive. Get a warrior monster from your graveyard back to your hand. Always useful, especially in like straight up warrior decks. Next is the Mask of Darkness. On its flip, you can return a trap card from your graveyard to your hand. And this deck has, I don't know, a few trap cards you probably want back. So after you use them, such as this 2-pronged attack. It's basically works similarly to Share the Pain, and except for this time you send you basically destroy 2 of your own monsters to go rid of one of your opponents. But I don't know. It's nice if you want to, like, say, like, stop a battle and stop, like, game-winning damage, I guess. So, like, if you're about to lose the game, you could, like, off 2 of your monsters to, like, destroy the monster that's attacking if you want. I suppose you could also just you can't destroy your own monster with that a destruction effect. So I don't know why you would want to, but I guess you can't do that. So there's not much freedom with that, but I don't know. It comes down to you in a pinch. Next is reinforcement of the army. Add a warrior from your deck to your hand. It has to be level 4 or lower, though. And this deck, that's pretty much guaranteed, except Sword Hunter. Uh, the next card is the trap card, Confusion Shaft. This card, if it's only your opponent declares a second attack during the same battle phase, and then conduct battle between the attacking monster and the first monster that attacked directly. So kind of works sort of like a monster you'll see later in this deck, like Ancient Lamp, or like the anime effect Magic Archer, I suppose. So yeah, nice card to have. If you can use it, it's pretty powerful. Another 4 now coming in with nice 1800 defense points, 1000 attack. Her effect is Basically, when she inflicts damage, you can either add a Dark Scorpion from your graveyard or your deck to your hand, which also includes Cliff, obviously, and Dawn's Load. Here is the next monster, Spear Cretin. His effect is after he's flipped, when he's sent to the graveyard, basically, you or your opponent basically get a free, I guess you could say, like, Shallow Grave or Call of Haunted effect. And the nice thing is, no tributes are required for level 5 for monsters, so you can just, like, summon back a pretty powerful monster if you want. This deck doesn't have many powerful monsters, but I don't know. I would take Sword Hunter or, like, Meaningless Foreman, I guess, for defense. Next card is Block Attack. Tristan used this in the anime to at least try to help out Serenity, I guess, so thank you for that, Tristan. This card, obviously, as the name suggests, it switches a monster attack mode to defense position. It only works on your opponent's monsters. I guess, I don't know, in a tag, I don't know if that would work, if that would also, like, work on your partner's monsters, but, like, in the anime, I actually don't know. But yeah, this card, it's, I don't know. It can have its uses in this deck, I suppose. Next is the Axe of Despair. It gives the monster 1,000 extra attack points, and when it's in the graveyard, you can tribute a monster on your side of the field to get it back to the top of your deck. So it's a very nice equip card. Practicality in this deck is, I don't know, pretty high since most of these monsters are pretty weak. Next card is, one should know it, another monster I made heavy use of in Nightmare Troubadour. It's Crywell. Crewell. I actually don't know how to say this card's name. Crywell. It's Bean, 1700 defense, 1000 attack, so kind of fits right in with the Dark Scorpions. This card sent to the graveyard by result of battle. You can toss a coin, and you've got it right. You can destroy monster opponents on the field. So a very nice effect. Since very likely whatever destroys it will be, like, pretty powerful, since they, yeah. Plus it's an attack mode. I more than often will summon Crywell in defense position for its 1700 defense, so whatever I'm getting rid of will probably be stronger than that, so it's worth it. Next we have Dark Scorpion Burglars. Standard 1000 attack, 1000 defense, and when this card inflicts damage to 100 life points, the opponent selects one magic card in his or her deck and sends it to the graveyard, and then they shuffle their deck. So, yeah, getting rid of magic cards, I believe, is, I don't know, pretty useful. So, yeah. Hane Hane. His effect, when he's flipped, return a monster on the field to its owner's hand. Very useful when clearing the field out to help the Dark Scorpions. Next, 2 copies of Attack and Receive. This card, when you take damage to your own life points, inflict 700 points of damage to opponent's life points, and in addition, you inflict 300 points of damage to your opponent per card if there are additional attack and receive cards in your graveyard. So with 2 altogether, this card can do pretty much 1,700 points of damage. And with Mask of Darkness, you can revive one of them at least, do 700 more. Mystical Ancient Lamp. This deck doesn't have Lajin, so its main effect is kind of not useful, but when it's attacked while in face down defense position, you can basically flip that attack onto a monster. Is it a monster yeah, you can make one monster your opponent controls be attacked instead. So basically it works exactly the same way as the anime version of Magic Arm Shield does. Next card is kind of a fun card, Fake Trap. Its effect is basically when your opponent uses any sort of effect to target your trap cards, this card is going to be destroyed as a substitute. So that's very nice. You see a little goblet here holding up a piece of paper that says false on it to taunt them. Very useful in blocking, say things I don't know, especially things I don't know, Heavy Storm. Now we have Combat Swordsman of Landstar. The exact same stats as the basic Swordsman of Landstar, but he gives all other warrior gives all warrior monsters you control 400 extra attack points. So the Dark Scorpions, I don't know, they're pretty well off with him in the deck. A hero emerges when your opponent grows an attack. They select a random card from your hand. If it's a monster, you can special summon it. But if it's a spell or trap card, send it to the graveyard. So I know this card can definitely backfire. Honestly. But yeah, it's a nice card if you have only monsters in your hand. My favorite use of this card would be pretty much whenever Jaden used it in anime and he only had I don't know, one card in his hand and it usually ended up being Blade Edge or something. That was always fun. The next card is featuring Clef the Trap Remover on the artwork. Pretty fitting. It's Trapped Dust Shoot. This card's effect. You can only activate this card when your opponent has 4 or more cards in their hand, and you can look at your opponent's hand, then select one monster card, return it to the owner's deck, and then shuffle it. So, I don't know. This card could be useful if your opponent's stolen a monster from your hand or something, at least, or just to put a monster in their hand back into their deck that you don't want them summoning that turn, I guess. It has its variety of uses. The only downside is your opponent has to have at least 4 cards in their hand to activate it. So if you don't use it early in the game, I don't know, it might be harder to use. Last card is Timidity, featuring Chickly Owl. And basically what this card is, both players cannot destroy set magic and or trap cards on the field until the opponent's next end phase. So yeah, basically saves all magic and trap cards that are set for 2 turns from when this card's activated, so yeah. That's this deck. It has some glaring weaknesses, such as obviously not having all the Dark Scorpions, for one, and yeah, not having too many ways to power them up. But that's what the upgrade version of the deck is for, which I'll get to in a while. um, so yeah, that was my first basically that was my first failed version of the Dark Scorpion / Warrior deck, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.